know, these guys right here from Harlem made us dress different, talk different, walk different, rap different, all the way in Canada. So please, the pride of New York to me, make some motherfucking noise for the dips.
Drake had the same type of run, if not more phenomenal than Dre in this present era.
He did.
We've never seen nothing like that happen.
Drake has to be in the top 5.
If you're not putting Drake in the top 2 of all times, like what are we gonna do? We're gonna keep putting shade on his name?
Drake just threw his full support behind Jim Jones, right after Jim boldly claimed he's better than Nas. But the reason Drake jumped into this mess, Petty doesn't even begin to cover it. Here's what went down. Drake thought everything was solid between him and Nas, but the moment Pusha T revealed that Nas is featured on the new Clips album, Drake took it personal, like real personal. That one little move was enough for Drake to flip sides and ride with Jim Jones instead. And while almost everybody else in the game backed away from Jim over his shady Nas comments, Drake doubled down. Now Jim's out here acting wild, calling Drake the greatest rapper of all time. Better than Nas, better than Jay-Z, better than anyone who's ever touched a mic. And that's not all. Jim's also going hard defending Drake's legal war with Universal Music Group. Yup, Drake is actually suing his own label for letting Kendrick drop that brutal diss on Not Like Us. And Jim's saying Drake's doing it for the culture. Seriously?
Recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
Yeah, that's my young boy.
big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying, Nas is like a god.
In my era too. I mean,
So
well,
to be compared,
yeah, let me
that young kid out.
he was young and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break it down.
Let's break this down.
Let's not get into that where we get into nothing. There's never is me. Putting me up against anybody, I'm taking me every time. Every time.
Supposed to.
Okay,
Every
but let
time,
me
in all categories.
say something though, Jim.
In every category,
Jim,
I get busy.
Meanwhile, the whole industry's been roasting Drake for running to court after catching an L in a rap beef. But Jim Jones, he's standing by him like a loyal soldier. So now people are asking, are these two just trolling for attention? Are they really this thirsty for clout? Or are they actually convinced they're the only ones telling the truth? Let's get into it. So by now, everybody's heard the noise. Jim Jones lit a fire in the rap game when he said he's better than Nas.
What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life.
Now, has Nas done that to you?
You did. The last time he was in some shit like this where people were comparing was when him and Jay was beating on him. You heard?
Yeah, he really said that. And even after the whole culture clapped back, Jim didn't flinch. He straight up doubled down, saying he helped Nas go viral again for the first time in years. But let's be real. Hip-hop fans weren't having none of it. The comment sections exploded. People were calling it straight up disrespectful. Most fans couldn't even believe Jim versus Nas was being said in the same breath. And the rest, they just laughed and kept asking, who told Jim Jones this was okay?
Jim Jones. Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Okay, Nas.
Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones? Nas. All right. Nas or Jim Jones?
Is that a serious question?
Yes, it is.
It's Nas, bro.
All right.
Jim Jones the clown.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Come on. Is that a question?
Yo.
Is that a question?
Hey, yo. Nas or Jim Jones? Come on.
I ain't say who.
Yo. Nas.
Nas for the culture.
All right. Nas or Jim Jones?
You said Nas or Jim Jones? Oh, Nas.
Doesn't matter that Jim's been grinding for over 20 years. The second he tried to measure up to Nas, folks stopped caring about anything he's done. Why? Because Nas is one of the few rappers that nobody debates. The man dropped Illmatic at 20 and still gets Grammy noms decades later. And it's not just fans backing Nas. Legends like RZA call him a genius. He literally said Nas is the Bobby Fischer of MCs. That's chess master level lyricism, not something you play with.
Or Nas a Bobby Fischer of MCs. Because Bobby Fischer was the youngest MC youngest chess master
player,
to master. He became a grandmaster at the youngest age.
Right.
There's a few that beat him over the years, but he was the first one at that age to be, and Nas was a master at the age of 16, 17, where most of us, because you met us, we was already in our 20s.
Right.
He was at the age of 17, 18, dope as somebody that was 25, 30.
Right, that's true.
And he, no, seriously, he's a prodigy.
But guess what? Jim's not backing down one bit. He just dropped a teaser for his upcoming sit-down with Angie Martinez. And from the looks of it, he's still got more to say about Nas. What does respect even mean anymore? Scroll through the comments, and it's clear fans are over this whole mess. They're calling Jim Jones out heavy, saying he's out here chasing clout like it's his full-time job. One person even wrote, "Why is this man-child so obsessed with going viral? That's all I've heard from him lately." Another added, "He really thinks disrespecting Nas is gonna help him push albums?" Ooh, but the most savage take, someone said, "How you lose a rap battle you started, and the other dude didn't even drop one bar back? That's cold."
Respect means to you?
Respect is definitely something you gotta earn. Respect is something I might not get from everybody, but you're definitely not gonna disrespect.
I was like, yo, we should have Jim on the pod. And then the next day, Jimmy's viral.
This is one of the ways of marketing that is working right now in today's music.
Hi, baby! Where are you at with marriage now? How did you feel about Sierra running up on you at the, you invited?
I know anything Sierra's gonna say is gonna go super viral next to me. I'll take it. I know how to turn my negatives into a positive. Man, I didn't know how many people love Nas.
And it hits hard because Nas hasn't said a single word about Jim. Not one. It's like he don't even see Jim as worth the energy, just silence. And just when folks thought this whole circus might die down, here comes Drake, jumping into the drama like it's his own. This ain't even his beef. Still, he slid right in, showing love to Jim and low-key throwing shade at Nas on the side. Drake posted a slick photo of him and Jim together, and Jim didn't waste time. He jumped into the comments and wrote, "Men of respect, mafia rules, a toast to the last ones left." You can already guess what the fans are saying, eh? And it ain't pretty. The internet's roasting both Drake and Jim, calling them the two corniest rappers alive. And honestly, a lot of people think Drake jumping in to defend Jim wasn't about loyalty at all. It was about that clout fix. Drake lives for chaos, anything to stay trending and keep the spotlight on him.
Really suing Universal.
Man, how many niggas you in the hood you know got lawsuits? How many niggas?
It's different though.
How? How many niggas in the hood you know got lawsuit money? How's it different? He's in a different realm. That's his hood.
But I feel like it's where the lawsuit. I feel like where the lawsuit's coming from.
Listen to me. Where's it coming from?
It's coming from a rap beef. That's giving them the motive to have the lawsuit.
You think about this wrong. You think about a bag, or you think about a rap beef that's imaginary to the people. These are playing on the highest level of fucking entertainment, $1 billion game. Now, if he could catch $1 billion game in the midst of a rap beef, I think
reputation matters. I think your image matters.
Bro, he's not snitching on nobody. He's catching a lawsuit.
No, I'm not. This has nothing to do with it. I'm not calling him a snitch.
Let's get this together. He's not in a court of law. He's not have a personal suing against Kendrick Lamar, which everybody seems to think that this lawsuit is about. He didn't sue Kendrick Lamar. He sued UMG, which is the biggest company that has the biggest bag. You think I ain't gonna sue Amazon if I ain't get a chance to? Me suing everybody. Any one of them companies I get a chance to playing at that level to sue for billions?
Let's be real, he's known for jumping into drama just to stir the pot. The more backlash, the more attention, and Drake knows exactly what he's doing. But this move wasn't totally random either. Drake and Jim do have some history, and Jim's been one of the only major names to ride with Drake during that brutal Kendrick beef. Remember when Drake hit UMG with that wild defamation lawsuit for letting Not Like Us drop? While everyone else clowned him, Jim Jones stepped up and called it a power move, straight face. And in an interview with Angela Yee, Jim went even further, saying Drake's done more for the culture than most rappers in the game. Wild take, right? But he still wasn't finished.
What you gonna say to Drake? What you really gonna do with him, man? He's changed the way that we listen to music in the past 10 years, wholeheartedly. And everybody that's been around, he's helped change their sound also. For all our favorite rappers, you name the top rapper right now, has helped them tremendously out in their career by just jumping on a record or putting them on a tour. You know what I mean? Like, he's done more for our culture than most of these.
Jim later claimed Drake isn't just one of the best rappers alive. He's the greatest of all time. And just when you thought it couldn't get weirder, Jim actually called Drake his spirit animal. Now, when it comes to Drake's history with Jim, He's been a Dipset fan from day one. He's always shown love to Harlem, name-dropping Cameron, Juelz, and Jim Jones like they were part of his inner circle. Back in 2023, Jim even crowned Drake the honorary 5th member of Dipset. So yeah, there's clearly mutual respect, but don't get it twisted. Drake jumping into this Jim versus Nas situation, it ain't about loyalty, it's not about principles either. This move has strategy written all over it. Here's why. Pusha T and Malice just dropped the official track list for the upcoming Clips album, and guess who's featured? Nas. Yup, according to Complex, Nas is on track number 12 titled Let God Sort 'Em Out, Chandeliers. That alone had the internet buzzing.
Does Drake stand in hip-hop history?
I would say he's the greatest of all time. The relevancy that he keeps showing year after year, hit after hit, record after record. Any record that he has put out has seemed to go multiple platinum. Like that's never has happened before in this history. I mean, there's a few other people that do astronomical numbers like that, but he really in it. Like, you know what I mean? From all angles of music. It ain't no place you can't go that they not gonna play some Drake records to get the party started. He moving around here like the real Bruce Wayne. Like he's my spirit animal, man. I just gotta give credit where credit is due and not taking away from nobody.
Now, no word yet if it's a diss track or who might be in the crosshairs, but in a recent interview with Rolling Stone, Pusha T said the song is sharp, and he's been trying to land a Nas collab for years. This wasn't random, but that's not even the wildest part. The Clips album also features Kendrick Lamar on a song called Chains and Whips, and the entire project is produced by Pharrell. So now fans are connecting the dots. Pusha, Kendrick, and Pharrell all have long-standing tension with Drake. Now let's talk about Nas. He's never had public beef with Drake, not once. But now that he's teaming up with Pusha T, Kendrick, and Pharrell on the new Clips album, it's looking like Nas just picked a side, and fans are saying this move ain't accidental. You might think that's a reach, but insiders close to Drake are saying he's definitely not happy about Nas showing up on this project. And the reason? It's all about Pusha T. If there's one rapper Drake avoids like the plague when it comes to lyrical warfare, it's Pusha, period.
I have no desire to ever mend anything with that person. And yeah, that situation just went, it just went where it went. And it's just, there's no turning back. It's not like those other situations. I'll say at that point, it wasn't even about battle rap or any of that. It was just, the information was too shocking. It was, like I said, on his part, it was a genius chess move. He obviously has no, when it comes to me, he's not gonna have any morals or respect. So the other elements of the record, whether it be the shit that he's making up about my mom and my dad and all this dumb shit, or obviously the part that hit me the most, which is wishing that my friend that has an illness dies. That shit to me is just not really wavy. I'm just not really with that. And when I did say, oh, there's rules to this, I didn't mean there's rules that anybody has to follow. But in battle rap, they just headshotted that guy the other day because he was on stage and he pulled out a picture of the guy's dead aunt and started rapping about, that type of shit. And it just is what it is. There's a point where you're gonna wanna stop rapping. I'm sure I could say something about, your lovely lady or, a child or a family member, and you're just gonna wanna not really rap anymore. Yeah. So that's just kind of where I got to. It's just, I just had to admit, I'm really, and when I was making the record in response, which was a real record, I know people think it's some myth. It was on this Vinyls beat, and I just found myself saying things that one seemed really out of character, just because I was deeply invested in the situation and getting very angry, and saying things that I don't know if in 2 years I'd want to hear myself say, and yeah, I just realized that nobody cares about this guy, so it's not really much I can say better than Drake has a baby. He won, he won off that bomb.
Let's not forget, Pusha T is the same dude who dropped The Story of Adidon and shattered Drake's whole clean image. He exposed the secret child, the hidden relationships, and cracked open the facade Drake had been selling for years. And even now, Drake's never really bounced back from that hit. He stayed silent, shook, tried to laugh it off, but the damage was done, and fans remember. Now, enter Nas. He's always shown respect to Drake's come-up. They've never been besties, but there was never any static either. Drake even gave props to Nas's legacy more than once. But teaming up with Pusha and Kendrick, that hits different. And just to stir the pot more, after Kendrick dropped his album, riding the high from his Drake takedown, Nas hopped on Instagram, posted the album cover, and captioned it, "Always inspired by my brother Kendrick Lamar, keeping the essence of this ish alive and at the forefront. Salute, King." Fast forward to 2025, and now Nas is teaming up with Pusha T on an album that also features Kendrick Lamar. That ain't just a collaboration, that's a full-on statement. And best believe Drake is taking it personal. Sources close to Drake's camp are saying he feels betrayed. Why? Because in his mind, he always showed Nas nothing but respect. There was never bad blood, no sneak disses, no shots, just admiration. But now that Nas is linking up with his biggest rivals, yeah, Drake's definitely feeling some type of way. Which brings us right back to the whole Jim Jones mess. A lot of fans believe this is the real reason Drake decided to ride for Jim in that random Jim versus Nas drama. It wasn't loyalty, it was strategy. Drake saw Nas standing next to his enemies, so he picked someone who was openly going at Nas and backed him. Classic Drake move. And let's be honest, Drake's never been the type to stay quiet when his image is on the line. If there's even a hint that his spotlight might dim, he's gonna make a move, even if it's messy, even if it makes no sense. Now fans are saying this proves just how petty he really is. Instead of staying in his lane and focusing on his next drop, he's jumping into beefs that don't even involve him. All just to stay in the conversation. All this over who's working with who. Just because Nas is on Pusha T's album, and Pusha's been gunning for Drake for years, Drake couldn't resist jumping in, backing Jim Jones, and throwing shade at Nas. And honestly, it tracks. Drake's entire run has been built on loyalty games, power plays, and controlling the narrative. He keeps a circle that praises him, and the second someone steps out of line, he cuts them off cold. No room for challenges, no room for real tension, just control. So nah, it ain't surprising that he inserted himself into this Jim versus Nas drama. What is surprising though? How calm Nas is staying through all of it. And while Drake's out here playing politics, fans are laser focused on the real heat. That upcoming Clips album. With Pusha, Kendrick, Nas, and Pharrell all on the same project, that's a power circle. And Drake better sharpen his pen, cause it's looking like lyrical war season is coming. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this video if you're ready for the next round of drama. This one's just getting started. See you on the next one.